how was your mentality going in towards the end? Like, no, I gotta see her again. She tried to stop me in the beginning.
When I tell you testimony, because that is when that's when I experienced that moment of homelessness, and I had her class. So not only am I dealing with the triumphs in my personal life, right? I'm repeating a class with a woman who's obviously has it out for me.
We back, another episode at the Hustle Lounge podcast. Got my boy Chill with me today. Shout out to G, he wasn't able to make it today. We got a special guest, Dr. Akila Roberts. How you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you guys doing?
We doing good.
I'm good, can't complain, man. Happy to be here, man. Shout out to everybody. She couldn't be here, but you're gonna make it work.
Last week, we announced we was doing Women's History Month. So we had Judge Connor on last week. We coming back with another successful Black woman. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, that was fire. I saw some of that.
Oh, yeah, appreciate that. Yeah,
I did. I went to look. I had to see. I was like, hey, what y'all doing? That's nice. I like it.
You got to follow up. That last week episode was fire. You got to come with some heat.
I don't know. You know, she set the tone.
Right.
You want to introduce yourself to our audience?
Dr. Akila Marie Roberts. I am a nurse practitioner, doctor of nursing practice, professor, public speaker, and consultant.
Okay.
Yeah, all of that, that's a resume right there.
Oh, sorry. I mean, I'm just...
Okay, before we even get into what you do, I want to know how you manage your time with doing 4 things. You know, we hustles in front of smarter. We some hustlers, so we want to know how you manage all 4 of those things.
Now, time management is definitely important, right? With to-do lists. Let's just be real. I'm real old school. You know, a lot of people put stuff in their phone. They got like these alarms going off. I mean, just a simple piece of paper every week, writing it down, making sure I just check those things off. That's definitely important. And I also don't double book, right? So I definitely space some things out. I'm very strategic. That's the only way. It's the only way to get all of this done in the amount of time that's allowed, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's big. It's okay. So you got everything down. So is it the time where you kind of get everything crossed up and you sometimes maybe double book? If that does happen, what do you do in that situation?
Well, I try not to let that happen. But if that situation does happen, I mean, it's communication, right?
Right.
Communication and being humble enough to say, hey, you know, I apologize. I overlooked something. What can I do to like rectify the situation? Is there any way that I can maybe give you more time, or, you know, just seeing which one I'm going to prioritize. Prioritization is important, right? Everything has to be done, but what's more important? And let's just be honest, right? So if it's between, you know, having to see patients or speaking at a school, I mean, honestly, patient care comes first. So I'm gonna have to tell that school, hey, I'm either unable to make it, unfortunately, but how about I give you a couple more sessions or do something special with the children and reschedule. But that's just prioritizing your time. You have to prioritize.
Oh,
definitely.
When you say speaking with the students, talking about, I know we spoke about you talking about the college professor portion or your consultant speaking with you.
Well, both. Honestly, both. The consulting has nothing to do with the speaking part. That's just something that I do on the side for like healthcare improvement management. But speaking with students, right? So if I'm doing like a keynote speaker at like a university or something like that, just bringing them a topic and just presenting on that topic like a guest speaker or a guest presenter for a university, something like that, which is why it's so important to manage your time, because that's not something you want to push back, right? You want to make sure you're there because you're setting a tone. Like everything that you do is a representation of you, right? So, and then also like speaking with elementary and middle school kids, like I'm not too big to do any of that. Because to be honest, I'm actually a lot more excited to speak to the younger kids because they get to see representation, right? They get to see a Black doctor that's still kind of like got her thing going, you know? But sometimes we get put into like these boxes of like, what you're supposed to look like or what you're supposed to be. And I want to just show kids, especially girls in the inner city, that look, we can be it all. And so, speaking to the young ones, I'm passionate about that.
That's definitely something Hustle Smarter wants to do eventually, is get into the schools, change these curriculums and really educate our kids and those kids and change the future.
That would be pretty dope. Growing up where I grew up, like I wish I saw more people like me. You know, not that I still didn't make it, but how many more of us would have, right?
Yeah. Right. Now, since you said that, where did you grow up? Where are you from?
So I'm from Miami, Florida. And when I say that, a lot of times people say they think beaches, they think sand, they think sun. Like, yeah, I had access to all of that. And like, honestly, I realize much now that I live up here, how much I didn't take advantage of it. But I'm from the city, right? The inner city. So it's different. We have like not the school system down there, not to like talk bad about it, but it wasn't the absolute best, right? And a lot of times it was like, where are you passing? Did you pass? Or just passing us along? And like, I had a graduation class of over 1,000, right? And maybe like 30 of us went to college. You know, and that's just like the statistics is just not what it should be, you know, but it's the product of the community. So a lot of times I feel like if they saw more people like us, right? Or saw more things like this, just being able to cultivate all of his seeds to see like what's out there, because a lot of times we just see what's around us, and our community is not too much further than where we are a lot of times. So if you don't have the vision or the mindset to see beyond what's in front of you, you get limited, you know. So,
and that's big because you said out of 1,000, only 30 went to college.
Yeah, 30 of us went to university.
Right. And
it was so crazy. It was so crazy. Like, and to be honest with you, I honestly was very that good in high school or whatnot, you know, SGA president and stuff like that. But for me, it was just more so running for stuff for like more popularity than it was for what the title was.
It actually was.
To be honest, all of that just kind of built something in me. And I didn't realize it then, but I definitely see it now. And so definitely going to the schools and showing them us. It matters.
Right. And I'm happy to do that because now you letting them see what they can be. Because, you know, maybe if somebody came to your school back then when they had 1,000 kids and they show like, oh, you could be a firefighter, a doctor, or the military, maybe they'd have been like, maybe they have a little more than 30 people going to college.
To be honest, just bringing a lot of trades to high schools. I started seeing them bring more trades to our high schools because it was more important to pick up a trade, get out of high school and do something like mechanics or something like that, rather than actually pursuing these major, you know, professions that we are all very much had access to, capable of. Yeah.
Our biggest goal here is to inspire. If we can inspire one person a week, we doing our job. So that's what we try to hit on these podcasts. And you know, it's a lot of little girls and little boys who actually wants to be in the medical field and be doctors and nurses. And you know, we just hoping that they hear this interview and they, you know, you inspire them.
I hope so too, because that's what I'm all here. That's what I'm here for. Seriously.
Right, that's the goal. The goal.
So, what's the most important thing you learned on this journey? Because not to get into your age, but from high school to college to your first job, actually nursing, to now, like, what's the biggest thing you could take away, and what would you tell the 18-year-old Akila?
Oh, 18-year-old Akila, definitely look, hey girl, I was so zealous, like I'm getting it, which helped me, right? It got me there. But at the same time, I learned to prioritize. I learned humility, right? Humility is so important. A lot of times, you know, you think you're humble. Okay, I'm humble. But when you have that go-getter spirit, you sometimes lack that humility. And that humility is necessary to build relationships. Okay. One of the biggest things that I would take from everything that probably would have made my process easier. I mean, I still attained everything, but would have made it easier is if I had a mentor to help me along the way, someone that can help guide me. And if I was humble enough to reach my hand out and say, hey, I need help, hey, you know, but outside of like what I had access to, remember we talked about, you know, it not being represented enough in our communities, but just being able to, the same amount of research I did to finding these different scholarships and finding these different schools, if I put research into finding that doctor of nursing practice at 18, you know, finding those people that were already doing what I'm doing now and just saying, hey, I want to learn from you. I want to see what it is how did you make it here? What did you do? You know? And I mean, I'm that for people now, you know, but if I was 18 and I had that, just would have seen how much smoother this process would have been. Right?
When you grasp was on a mentor, they keep you away from all the roadblocks that they hit.
Yes, a lot of roadblocks, a lot of
you're gonna hit the roadblocks, right? You're doing it by yourself. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I always tell people to grab on a mentor. And what G would say right now is, relationships are worth more than money. You built those relationships.
Honestly, it is.
You built those relationships.
Yeah, relationships now is currency.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, if I had the podcast box comment, I hit it right now. Relationships
for sure.
Today's
your
currency,
network is your currency. Like, to be honest with you, who you surround yourself, that's who's building you.
Right.
That's who's one pouring into you. That's who's investing in you. Your community, the community you start to build is going to make a difference in how far you go. And that takes humility to realize that. A lot of times we don't really want to say, I don't need anybody, I can do this and stuff. That mindset is limiting. You need people.
For sure.
Okay.
Always.
Yeah, you need people. And not that you want to be a crutch on anybody. It's like, what can you add to them as much as what they can add to you? That's why your circle, your network is very important.
Definitely. Because everybody in your circle, you want them to lift you up. You don't want no one bad egg, because everybody gets weak when there's one bad egg in the circle.
And you gotta hold your weight too. Everybody can't be lifting you, and you ain't lifting nobody. Like, what are you contributing to this? You gotta hold your weight, because if you in my circle, you ain't holding your weight. I mean, come on.
You gotta go then.
But we're all encouraging each other. We're pushing each other. Like, what we doing next? Oh, girl, that's popping. Like, let's get that. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. Not just all talk, because you gotta be about that action. People say a lot of things, but we're not producing no action or no results. Then what are you there for?
Absolutely.
What else you got, Kris?
I keep a question. Like a baby.
Sure does.
So I wanna ask, like, what do you do what do you consult about?
So that's something that's actually my business that I'm working on the side. It's like something I'm just establishing.
Okay, so you knew like us. Okay.
Yeah.
We might be your first customers. We support Black businesses over here. So
you got a healthcare entity. Basically going into different private healthcare entities and seeing like where there is need for change and cultivating that change through different process of developments, just to make sure that we're improving healthcare. Because a lot of these private owned businesses sometimes are let's just say this, your major businesses, right? They have different departments that are ensuring patient satisfactory care and everything like that. But a lot of times when you go into private practice, some of that's lost, right? And one of the things I noticed when I was doing my doctor of nursing practice, my dissertation was on like the delay in lab management, right? How long it can take sometimes for different private practices to get back to you with your lab results. Sometimes as long as like 6 months, right? And that is very important, because in 6 months, that lab is no longer accurate. We need a new lab now, right? So I found in the private practice that I was at, I basically built a system to change that, to break that time down, to decrease that time from 6 months to a year to 5 days. A 5-day turnaround on lab management. Yes, I did. So just using that is just one of the structures I might want to bring into a different entity. Yeah. I actually wrote on it. I ain't published it. That's something that I don't know if that's
you holding on to it.
No, I mean, I'm holding on to it only because I'm more about encouraging different businesses to take on the healthcare improvement process rather than highlighting the different areas that don't have it, right? Okay. So something like that can maybe highlight an error within that entity, and I just want to help you. So now that they're using that and they're implementing it, it's more about the patients than it is me getting any type of accolades for, I did this, and just pointing out this one business, because that business is in a community that's servicing a lot of patients. It's more important that they get this this new structure and be able to implement it than be highlighted as you were doing something wrong. So that's more of what I'm passionate about. So it's more like a hidden consulting to just improve your business.
Right. Yeah. So that's good. Yeah. So this would be a addition to what you do on a daily basis.
Yep. Yeah. And I know, like, a lot of people are like, how do you do it? I do it.
The grind,
you do it.
And I still have time.
She already gave y'all free game, time management. Write it down, to-do list on the daily basis.
I mean, one thing I was gonna make sure I said on this podcast, I don't even know where this is going, but a lot of times we're kind of told we have to quit our full-time jobs to pursue our dreams. Everybody is not able to do that. Right. Okay. We have to learn, most of us have to learn how to pursue what it is our dreams are and our passions are while still bringing the income in, because we have families. Yeah. We have responsibilities. Everyone can't just cut it off and say, I'm going after this, you know? And I admire the people that can, you know, but I'm not one of those people that can. Right. So it's just learning to really time manage, make a to-do list, break it down, have someone hold you accountable. I got people that hold me accountable, like, hey, I need to do this at this day, or even my phone or whatever it is, right? To just remind me like, hey, I got to make sure this gets done, because if it doesn't, you know, I'm holding back on things that I set to accomplish.
Right. And that's what we talk about all the time at Hustle Smart, you know, holding each other accountable, because there's 4 of us in here and we always on each other back all the time. But hey, we got to be on time. We got to do this. Yeah. We got to cut these videos. We got to do this. So like you said, it comes back to that circle.
It goes back to your circle.
Exactly.
And just to foot on what she said, y'all, hey, go listen to the episode, Don't Quit Your 9 to 5. We already spoke on that.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
We did. And she hear the foot stomp it. Yeah, that we ain't BSing like we be talking.
Yeah, no, like, everyone can't do that.
You gotta leverage your 9 to 5 to fund your dreams.
To fund your dream, absolutely. You guys said, "Oh, that's dope."
I tell y'all right now, I sit at my desk every day from 9 to 5, and I don't do nothing that I you doing.
Well, don't say that now.
Hey, I get what I need to get done the first 2 hours. The first 2-3 hours.
I'm not shy from this. Like, if I get an hour break from my lunch and I have to make a call to different places, or I'm calling this, I'll do it. I'm using that time. I get off work at, like, let's say I get off at 4:30. I'm using the next 3 hours working on what I'm doing. I teach maybe a course 1 day a week, right? So I know on Tuesdays or Mondays after work that time is dedicated to my students. Right. And then I have office hours that I set aside for that. And then the time that when I'm not working, I don't really stop working till about 9-10 o'clock. Because when I leave my full-time job, it's time to work on my dream.
Right. Y'all hear that hustle? That's hustling all day.
We got a real hustler on here today. Y'all ain't got no excuses.
Yeah.
So what I hear a lot of is priorities, because you know you get an hour for lunch, right? You could be like, I'm gonna go take a break, but now you make that phone call because you got priorities.
That hour you can now put to something. If that's your hour, that's your hour. What you want to do with it is up to you. And when you get off work, that time you have off is your time. What you want to do is up to you. Your vacation. You can go take a trip, but what you do on that trip and what you do during that time is your time. I mean, to be honest with you, Kris, you know this. I just went to Jamaica for New Year's and stuff like that. On my trip was like a retreat for me, because I was like, in the morning, I woke up, meditated, did all of that, ate real nice, and got by the beach. But by 9 till about 1 o'clock, I'm working. I'm on vacation.
I'm working.
This time, I'm not getting back. So I gotta make it work for me. Yeah, make it like a retreat, and it becomes fun when you do it like that, because it's like you're creating your own retreat, your own space to make what you want to listen. It was a quote that I put out there, right? When you're not working, work on never having to work again.
I say that one more time.
When you're not working, work on never having to work again. And that's exactly where your mindset should be.
Yeah, exactly. Gems today. Like,
and to be honest, they don't teach this in medicine or nursing.
I don't take note.
They don't teach this part, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, you have to. I mean, you got to feed your family, and especially if you want to be influencer or innovative or contribute very highly to this community of healthcare professionals, you got to work.
Right. Somebody's always out there trying to outwork you.
You know? It's always
you got to be dedicated. So real quick, what part of Jamaica you was in?
Montego Bay. I'm gonna answer the question. I'm gonna answer all the questions.
Montego Bay. Do you like it? It was good.
No, it was cool. It was nice. It was relaxing, but I got a lot done, and that was very important to me. To be in a space to build, to be in a space to create.
Right. Yeah. Clear your mind. So, you know, you think better in like different environments and different situations. You know,
it was a break from the cold.
Oh yeah.
Gotta get away from the snow for a bit.
That's for sure. Definitely. So, if somebody wants to get in the career field that you're in, what are steps or what do they have to do to prepare themselves and their mind to jump in that career field?
Well, first, depending on where they're at. So if they're younger, right, you definitely, like I said, want to get a mentor, want to make sure that you research as much as you can, because you can honestly get into this with a lot of debt or get into it with no debt, right? So which way do you want to go, right? You want to definitely look in scholarships and different things like that. But because I am a nursing success coach, right? That's one of the things that I do. So if I'm working with like a parent or like a mother or someone who has a full-time job, they're not only do they need the scholarships, but they also need to find the fastest route to make it happen. Right? If you're 18, you may not need the fastest route. You actually need a more mature route. You know, sometimes it might take you slower to get there, but it develops you along the way. But if you're a mother or a working professional or a father or something like that, and you're trying to pursue this goal, you need something that's going to balance with your current job, right? So that's where accelerated programs and different programs come in. You either know if you're going to go to a 2-year university or 4-year university, and I recommend that for your my younger population, those coming out of high school. Maybe go to something that's going to help mature you, because what you're about to step in is going to take a lot of maturity.
Help groom you, definitely.
A working professional, I would say go a route that's going to benefit you, like one of those schools that's going to have more classes that are after hours or have more online classes, and those professors that are more aware that you are a second degree seeking student, you know. Just, I would say you have to know yourself, know what works for you, right? Because that's basically all of that's going to help you to succeed. All right. Because if you're not a good online person and you need that face-to-face contact, just going online is not going to be so helpful for you. Okay, you need to go to a school that's going to help you and have those face-to-face contact. But if you have juggling a couple of things, online might be best for you. So so many ways, right? So many ways to pursue this whole nursing thing. You know,
so you say
like
it's so many ways to tackle it, because I myself didn't do 4 years.
Right.
Yeah, I did 4 years in psychology at Florida International University. And then I went back and did an accelerated program at Barry University. And that was another 15 months. Okay. So that's how I got to it.
So, all right, so question. All right, so the accelerated and the traditional way, so you say the work is a lot more crammed, and it depends on that person's ability to, I guess, compartmentalize everything, like you said, manage. And so it wouldn't be best for somebody that just needs to take their time. They rather go traditional way rather than go to accelerated, which everything is crammed into those couple of months.
Yeah, well, accelerated, you have to have a degree, full-time degree anyway. So you have to have a bachelor's in something in order to do accelerated.
You want to make sure you already stamped.
Yeah, you already have some type of foundation. The reason why I recommend the traditional route for younger people, because a lot of times when you are younger, we think we have it all together, but to be honest with you, we don't, right? And you might need that development, that those different courses and different things to help you develop how to study, how to communicate, how to be professional. Those things all matter, because once you get into the nursing, that's expected of you. You're hitting the ground running. You know, we're not teaching you at that time. Now you're coming in, you have this knowledge, we're expected to, right? And we're expecting you to, actually implement it, actually carry it out at this time. So that's why I recommend that. But honestly, if you don't have a degree at first, you can't do an accelerated program. That is a requirement first. So you can have a degree in anything, business, math, education. And then once you have a bachelor's in anything like that, you can then do an accelerated program. And that's 15 months. And the accelerated program now that's hard. Because it is crazy. It's everything that you would do in those 2 years in 15 months, 12 months. Right. So, and a lot of times it's encouraged that you don't work in those programs.
Right. I'm pretty time consuming and all of that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because you're doing everything that they would have been doing in their traditional and like expedited. Yeah, it's pretty tough. So, I actually met a lot of challenges when I was in mine. And I actually was humble enough and transparent enough to share that on one of my posts.
Okay, so you just walked right into my next question.
Go ahead. I'm here for it.
I tell you, on Hustle Lounge, we are transparent as hell. Like we tell you the good and the bad. So far, we didn't heard every success. What's your biggest failure?
I wouldn't want to say failure. I would say like my biggest challenges when I was in nursing school was failing my first nursing class. Failing that class like put me on like it took me off of my track, because you can only fail one class in nursing, right? And in my first semester, I failed that class. Now we don't have to get into semantics about how that happened, because that's a whole nother route. But it was injustice. It was injustice is done there. But I overcame that, because I was not gonna like allow this to set me off of what I had said I wanted to do. And in the midst of all that, when I tell you, I'm a pause and say I'm very spiritual. I like to say spiritual more than religious. I mean, I'm religious, I'm Christian, but you know, sometimes you can step on some toes there. So I'm very spiritual, meaning I have a relationship with Christ. And when I tell you the challenges that came, I mean, homelessness, lack of believing in myself, just anxiety, depression that I met in my course of just getting through my accelerated nursing program. I mean, by God, I'm so grateful that I succeeded. But yeah, like all of those things like transpired during that time. And if it wasn't for my faith, which brings me here, I don't think I would have made that. So when I tell you, another thing I want to encourage anybody to have is definitely a relationship with something higher than something, an entity higher than you. And I call that person God, because that is what kept my face in those books, kept me going, had me not give up, had me say, oh, no, I have to do this. I know that this person is against me. I know that right now I don't have this money. I know I don't have, but I gotta do this. I know you got me. I know you believe in me. And just having that spirituality helped me get through my program. And honestly helped me to achieve where I'm at today. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I'm very passionate. We gotta give you the
flowers for that, because that was a deep, honest conversation. And I know personally, when I reach back into my triumphs and my tribulations and my struggles, it made me feel some type of way. And when you talk about it, you know, it may take you back to that place, but when you able to really reach in your bag and tell people and be transparent, it make you feel a lot better. And somebody gonna listen to this who's been in that same situation, or is going to go through that same situation. They can reach back to this conversation we had today and really take it and instill it in their life.
Absolutely. So, it's about turning your triumphs into testimonies. Amen. Testimony. I don't see it as anything. Look, I'm not afraid to talk about it. It's what I'm supposed to do. Because the fact that I'm on the other side of it can, like you said, help that person who might encounter some similar situation see that they can do it too. See that it can be achieved, it can be done, and you can overcome it. And I think sometimes that's when people stay in a fallen place, is because they can't see a way out. But there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Right. So let me front stomp what you said a little while ago in case the listeners ain't heard. So you said you can't only fail one test at nursing school, right?
Yeah. No, one class.
One class, right? One class, and you failed your first test.
No, I failed my first class.
All right, okay, gotcha. All right, so you failed your first class.
Yeah.
Now you go. So you failed your first class. You only could fail one class. So
in
at
my
the beginning,
first semester,
you failed your first one. So that shows the determination that you had, because you like, all right, my back against the wall. Now one more failure, I'm out of here. And you just kept going, right?
I had to, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and that's tough right there to go through the rest of the semester. Man, classes are hard, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I went through something similar.
So it's also, I didn't have, and I just want to be like transparent about it. I didn't have the support. And then to know, to be honest with you, to know the failure was an injustice, that made it harder.
Oh yeah, that's like, right there.
Do I fight this? Do I continue to fight this? Or do I just
chalk it up and you move on? Yeah.
I got this. And
take
you
it to the
fail me
chin.
again.
Take it on the chin right here.
Yeah. And I think sometimes, and this could go, you know, y'all having a conversation with me, we can go any direction, right? I feel like a lot of times, remember I go back to humility, a lot of times we feel like we got something to prove. Me proving is the fact that I succeeded, regardless of you trying to fail me.
Exactly.
I don't have to, you know, write a bunch of letters. I don't got to get in your face and make a point and do all this. No, I'm Dr. Akila Marie Roberts today. And you had nothing, and you couldn't stop this.
Yeah.
Right.
That is the bigger achievement of it all. So sometimes it's just being humble enough to like, hey, I'm gonna keep going. I can either fight this situation, right? Or I can take this situation, suck it up, do everything that I have to do to get to the place where I want to be.
You can't knock it off my pivot.
Absolutely. Pick your battles, right?
Yeah, you gotta lose a battle, win the war. I didn't learn that 100 times.
Win the war, right? You gotta go like this when you win it too. Right. You gotta be like, hey, I won that.
So it's crazy because the injustice, right? They try to set you back, right? And I feel like as a Black woman, y'all go through so much just trying to, be on the same playing field as everyone else. And it's never, it's never fair for us anyway. We always got to fight to get to where we want to be.
Absolutely.
And the fact that, you could have been like, I'm gonna fight this, or this is gonna get me mad, it's gonna get me down. But you was like, nah, I'm gonna keep going because I'm gonna show you that you made a mistake failing me right here because you ain't about to stop this train.
Absolutely. And it was funny enough, not to get too much into it, but when I had to repeat the class, because remember, like I said, only failed one class. I did that in my first semester. I have 4 more semesters to go.
That's what I'm saying.
When I had to repeat the class, I had the dean tell me, Akila, just take it with someone else. I said, no, I'm gonna take it with her.
I'm coming in 2 days.
She gonna pass me.
I repeated the class with her, and I made sure I got an A on every test.
Oh, I know.
Where you could not tell me that I failed. And then on top of that, at the end of the semester, I had to take her one more. At the end of the program, I had to take her one more time. So that's
so let me ask you. So how was your mentality going in towards the end? Like, no, I gotta see her again. She tried to stop me in the beginning.
When I tell you testimony, because that is when that's when I experienced that moment of homelessness, and I had her class. So not only am I dealing with the triumphs in my personal life, right? I'm repeating a class with a woman who's obviously has it out for me.
Right.
I spent every day in the library. When I tell you, woke up in the morning, I'm in the library. I had to teach myself to study like this. That's why I'm such an advocate for 18-year-olds going through, or younger people going through the whole program to develop mentally before taking on a program like nursing, right? I had to prepare myself. My high school ain't preparing me for this. I had to teach myself how to read at this expedited rate, right? Chapters. Okay, you're talking about what's on the test. 15 chapters. 15 chapters.
Right.
To school in the inner city. So when I tell you library every morning till it closed, groups, study groups, and different things that really helps. Note cards, right? Just creating groups, because if you could teach it back to somebody, then it's just some part of your mind that's just
they really grasp on to.
Yep. Imagery. I love imagery. And when I say YouTube was very helpful connecting the dots. When you can look at the different disease processes of like what it is that you're studying, for example, like hypertension, and you can see those different YouTube videos about how the heart works and everything. It puts it all together. It takes it from the context of words in a book and puts it into imagery. And I'm a visual learner. That's why I said it's important to know yourself. How do you learn? Who are you? When you understand those different things, you're going to succeed. Right. So then when I had to take her class, I was like, boom.
You was ready.
I was ready. And I was ready. And then when I tell you prayer too.
Yeah, that's exactly what she did.
Okay. So this conversation has been great. I know you have a busy schedule and a busy life. So we'll wrap it up.
Don't do that.
I really, before you get off, I really want you to let the people know how they can reach you. Since you're a consultant and a life coach, what's your
life coach
handle? Email. How do the people get in contact with you if they really need some mentorship or need a consult or they need a life coach?
So I mean, I could plug my social media is Akila.Marie. Right. So that's my Instagram. I'm more so on Instagram than anything else. But then also my email is info@AkilaMarieConsulting.com.
Oh, okay.
Info@AkilaMarieConsulting.com. Yes.
Okay, cool. We like to end our podcast. We just started this last week with a little questions, just like off topic, kind of fun. Colin, you got one?
Okay.
I need to bring it in.
Well, I got one. But well, you can let her know what's about to happen. I asked a question.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Do I gotta sit up in my seat?
All right.
Put my seatbelt on.
All right. So just a random question. So you say you're from Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's your favorite Floridian rapper?
Oh, Rick Ross.
Rick Ross? Oh, the biggest boss.
Hey, she
okay.
She's down.
Yeah. Oh, she's down. Yeah. Because it's crazy. If G was here, he'd be like, oh yeah, she good in my book.
Rick Ross.
Yeah.
That's easy. Let me see what mine gonna be.
Man, that's Rick Ross. She off the bat. That's good. That's good. That's
I got one. What's your favorite book, or what's name one book that really changed your life?
Oh, The Power of Positive Thinking.
By
Norman Vincent Peale. Yeah.
Okay.
The Power of Positive Thinking, because your mindset is everything. We didn't even get into that, y'all. Your mindset is everything. I talked about manifestation a bit, but when I tell you, your mindset is everything.
You can come back now. We free. I don't have a life.
I like y'all.
Whenever you're free, you can run it back.
We can run it back, because the other homeboy, I'm pretty sure he'll like to talk
bring
to
Graham
too,
back. It's gonna be on the popping.
Okay. I like that.
Sure. So we could get on your schedule, because we know you're busy and you got a lot of things going on. So I definitely appreciate you taking the time out to talk to us tonight.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys having me. And I really think amazing. This is amazing that you're doing, even creating this month or highlighting different women. I'm just and then last week she was amazing. So I'm I don't know who you got coming, but I have some heavy hitters. I see y'all got some lineups.
Yeah, we trying. But before I forget, I got to tell people, like, comment, subscribe. This was love. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.